Hey guys, welcome back to my tutorials. From today onwards, few lectures I'll talk about one of the important concept in Java, that is about string handling. String handling in Java broadly covers about string class, string buffer and string builder. Let's recap what we have done so far. I already covered Java basics, that is completely for beginners, and also OOPS concepts. If you would like to learn about Java programming from scratch, I highly recommend to go over my previous videos about object-oriented programming and basics. The link is provided in the description box. Let me also give little introduction about what I am going to cover in this string handling concepts. Initially, I'll go over what is string class and what are the most frequent interview questions about string class, and some of the important methods and constructors about string. Later, I'll talk about string buffer and string builder and also difference between them. And finally, we will see some of the real-time examples like how to reverse a string, how split method works, how the trim method works, etc. Are you guys ready? I'm so excited to start this tutorial. Okay guys, see you in my next video. I will be talking in detail all of these concepts one by one. Hey guys, welcome back to my tutorials. Today's video I will talk about some of the basics about string class. String class by default it is final. If the class is final, we cannot inherit that class, right? So there is no concept of inheritance here. The best way to learn about any classes or interfaces, anything, is to go over documents or API. Just open any of your favorite browser and type string docs Java. Open the link. Here you can see the API of a string class. The first point is public final class string. Means the string class is final. It extends object. It also implements serializable, comparable and character sequence. There are some good examples also here. Here you can see constructors and methods. In the tutorial also I will go over some of the most used methods. So it is a very good approach to start with API for better understanding and learning purpose. Now let's understand in detail how the string class is final. Just take the any basic Java code. Here I am taking demo class. If you want to inherit the features from parent class, we need to use the keyword extends. Let's say object. So what does this mean? Demo is child class and object is parent class, right? So if you want to extend the class to the string, immediately you will get the error here, public final class string. This is the meaning about final class. All these topics about inheritance and final class I already talked a lot in my previous videos. I hope you are completely fine about what I am talking. Hey guys, welcome back. We are discussing about string handling in Java. Today's video, let's see what is string immutability. Immutable means once we create the object, we cannot change it again. Let's see what does that mean. If you talk about Java string classes, the first point is string classes are final and strings are immutable. This is very important to understand. Just focus. Let's take the name. Here I have taken string name called as Arun. If you print the name, you will get Arun, right? So now let's try to change the name. Name equal to Pooja. Try to print, we will get Pooja here. So far we talked about the string class is immutable. Once we create the class, we cannot change it later, right? But still, why we are getting this second name? Just wait, I will clarify that in a minute. Initially, when we create the object name, it referred as Arun. Later, when you try to change the value as Pooja, instead of changing the above object, the string creates one more object here with the same name. It's not going to change any stuff here. That's the meaning of immutability here. There are a lot of people confused about what is immutability because here the value is changing, right? That makes the confusion. And most importantly, this immutable topic you are going to hear many times in the future videos until the string concept ends. So don't worry about much right now. Hey guys, welcome back to my tutorials. We are talking about string handling in Java. We have seen string class is final and we know so far string is immutable. In this video, we'll see how to create a string. So what is the string? String is sequence of characters, whatever you are going to take in the inverted commas. This one is the string. We have to declare string data type and one variable and assign the value. So we can create the string value in two types. One is string literal, another one is using keyword. The one which we have seen before, this one is the string literal, popular way of creating a string, right? So the second one is using new keyword, string name one equal to new string. This is the another way of creating a string using new keyword, which is similar to object creation. This is not the new stuff. But you should need to understand what is the difference between string, literal and new keyword. Let's run the code and see the output. Functionality wise, there is nothing difference. But when you create a string using literals, that stores in string constant pool. On the other hand, when you create a string using new keyword, this stores in the heap memory. That is the difference between string literals and new keyword. What happens, when you store a value in string constant pool? This is specially designed for holding string objects, the two which are created using string literals. And I guess you know about garbage collector. The garbage collector does destroy the unused or unreferenced objects, right? So that it helps to free up the space in the memory. That is not going to happen when you create the string value using literals. And this is very important interview question. What is the difference between string literals and new keyword? Or what is the difference between string constant pool and heap memory? Hey guys, welcome back. Let's continue our discussion over string handling in Java. Today's video is about what is toString method, why we need to override that one. Before talk about some theoretical explanation, let's look into the coding part first and then come back here. For that, I created a student class and take some variables id and name. Let's say int id string name. So I have taken two variables here. After that, let's have a constructor, public and class name. We already know, right? The purpose of the constructor is to initialize the values. So here I'm initializing id and name. This dot id equal to id and this dot name equal to name. Guys, if you want to learn more about constructors, please go ahead and watch my previous videos. Link is provided in the description box. Now let's create one more class for testing purpose. In the main method, let's create one string, say Java. When you call that value, you will get the output as the string value, right? So here the string value is Java. You can see that in the console. Now let's create object for the present class, that is a student. Now you can see the compile time error because we need to provide the two arguments here. The first one is id and the second one is name. Let's say id equal to 2 and name equal to Lily. Run the code now. Now you will be surprised to see the result. Look at here. This is the class name and you can see some hexa code here. Why it happened? Instead of printing student name and id, we are getting this result. What happened, if you want to represent any object as a string, internally toString method invokes. That's the reason we are getting hexa value, because string class is a child of object class. If you come and click the string here, you can see public final class string and extends object. Means the string class is extending object class. What is the object here? Object is the parent class of string. If you want to read about string API, you can press the control key and click over here. Then it redirects to a page where you can see string API completely, methods, constructors, everything. So what it represents, the string class is extending the object class here. Then we can say object class is the parent class and string class is the child class. We can also say this one as superclass, subclass, right? So because of this inheritance, toString method is internally invoked. This is what I'm talking about. So now you understand the problem, right? So what we need to do, we need to override the toString method here. The benefit or purpose of the toString method override is, we can see clear and understandable format, because here we are getting hexacode, right? It is not understandable. Now let's see how to override the toString method. Let's go back to our class, right click and generate toString method. Make sure to select the fields here and say OK. Save the code and compile. Now you can see ID is 2 and name is Lily. That's the reason we need to override the toString method. This is the format we are getting here. If you want to change the format, you can do it right here. Here I am changing student ID. I just try to change that in a more readable format. That's it. Now you can see student ID is 2 and name is Lily. Okay guys, this is all about toString method and why we need to override that toString method. Let's continue our discussion. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Let's continue our discussion over string handling topic. So far we have covered all the basic things, right? Now let's explore how to use the string methods. But please don't forget the fundamental concepts. As string is immutable class, we cannot change the string value, and if you want to or if you need to change the string, we need to choose either string buffer or string builder. These string buffer and string builder we will see later. If you see the string class API, we have many methods here: caret, code point, before, compare to, ignore case, concat. There are plenty of. In this tutorial, I'm going over some of the most frequent used methods. Okay, let's start the coding. Create a class and a string s1. Welcome to learn code logic. Here I am taking one more string, Java learners. As soon as you enter the dot, you can see the available methods here, right? It returns the length of the string. Save the code and compile. The length of the string is 32, s1. Let's do s1 dot uppercase, s1 dot lowercase. Lowercase method returns the string into lowercase. You can see that here. All the characters are in lowercase and all the characters are in the uppercase. Caret. The caret method returns the specified index value. So we need to provide the index number. Here I am giving 3. When you give the index number here, it retrieves the value 0, 1, 2, 3. C is the third index, right? If you want to concat, the concat means you can add at the end of the string. You can add some value. Welcome to Learn Code with Logic. Learn code basics for free. So here two string values added. We can also retrieve the index value. Suppose if I want to know this L index, you can use the method s1 dot index of, where you have to give the letter. Using this index, we will get the first occurrence. This is index 2, right? We can replace the string also. S1 dot. Instead of logic, I want to print as practice. Here you can see, welcome to Learn Code with Practice. Let's also explore some Boolean stuff. S1 dot equals S2. It prints false. What if you have the same value? Let's make little difference, capital letter here. But still we get false value. If you want to ignore the case, you can say equals ignore case S2. Now we will see the true value. There you go. I wanted to show you the finishing point S1. The string is the same, whatever I have taken here. So how many changes you have done here? The string is not going to be changed. This is what about string immutability. If you want to change the string value, you can go ahead and use with the string buffer class or string builder class. It's interesting, right? Hey guys, welcome back to string handling tutorials in Java. Today's video I will talk about what is split method and how it is useful for iterating the values in a string. Split method returns array of string computed by splitting, and this string around matches of the given regular expression. This is so confusing. Let me go over the example and talk about this one later. Here I have taken a string. When you compile the code, you can see complete string here. But if you want to iterate the words one by one, suppose the first line I want to see welcome, second line I want to see to, third line I want to see learn, and so on, we can use the split method. And the purpose of split is not just for iterating, that splits the string value into tokens. Now let's take one more string array and split the string. Here I am providing the space. So we have the string array. Whatever we are splitting here, that stores in the string here. After that, I am writing for loop for iteration. This is simple for loop. Now you can see the output. It displays the string word by word because we are splitting the word using space here. That is the purpose of using split method. Wherever the space matches here, every word is considered as a token. Then we iterate this one using the loop. It prints one by one. Instead of this traditional for loop, you can simply write a for each loop also. For string s, s2, system.out.println s. If you run the code, you can see the same output, but this is a very simpler code than this one. I hope you understand how to iterate the string and how to use the split method. This split method works for all the characters. Suppose if you have some symbol, you can give the symbol name here. This works the same as before. Is it clear, guys? I hope you are learning and enjoying my videos. Stay tuned and see you in my next video. Hey guys, welcome back. Let's continue our interesting discussion about string handling. Today I'm going to show one example about converting string to integer. This is just an example. We will see more about these conversions when we are going to talk about wrapper classes in future. Okay. In a class, take a string and one integer. Suppose if you want to add these two numbers, what we will get? We will get 123, 100. Means here addition is the concatenation. So it is adding these two values. If you want to do as a arithmetic operation, you need to convert this string value into the integer. Integer dot parse int. Here you need to assign the s1. That's it. This integer is wrapper classes. As I said earlier, we'll talk about more once I start the wrapper classes. Int sum equal to n1 plus n2. Addition is, save the code and compile. Now you can see addition value. So it's so easy, right? Pretty straightforward. Simply you have to convert the string value into the integer. It is minus, you'll get the negative value because 123 is higher than 100, right? So what if you have some letter here? Guys, observe here, you'll get the exception. This is called as runtime error because the code looks good, but still we get exception while running the code here. Our next topic is about exception handling. So I just want to prepare you guys what is about exception and all. Just keep in mind. So this way it's not going to work out. If it is number only, it works. I hope you got the point. Hey guys, welcome back to my tutorials. Let us continue our interesting discussion about string handling. Today I will go over some of the examples of string constructors. Pretty much we understand about string methods so far. We have seen some examples as well, right? Now let's understand about string constructors. After that, we will see string buffer and string builder and difference between them. If you see the constructors here, we have this string empty constructor and we have char array constructor, string constructor. We'll also have string buffer and string builder constructors. These ones I will talk about once we are done with the string buffer and builder. String str equals to new string. This is the format for default constructor. Previous video, let's focus on this char array. It allocates a new string so that it represents the sequence of characters currently contained in the character array. So that sentence is little complicated. In simple, whatever characters you are entering into the array, it combines and prints as a string. Let's see how it works. Initialize the character array. And three values, let's say A, B and C. If you pass that character variable here, what it does, it converts all the characters into a string, whatever there in the array. This one we can also say like converting the character into string value. I hope you are enjoying my videos very well. If you have any doubts, feel free to comment. I'm more glad to help you guys. Let's continue the discussion. Stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and continue our discussion about string handling. So far I have covered many examples and concepts about string class. Now let's understand what is string buffer. String buffer represents a mutable sequence of characters. It is an alternative, or I can say a solution for the string class. Because we already know string is immutable, If you want to change any of the stuff, it's not possible, right? Whereas string buffer supports mutability. Mutable means we can change the value. It might be append, delete, insert, or reverse, any of the functions. Whatever we couldn't able to achieve in string class, we'll do it over using string buffer. Now let us see some coding part. It helps you to understand much better. Let's initiate a string. The method we are invoking here is two lowercase method. We got all lowercase letters. But let's see when you try to invoke this one. But when you try to call the string value, observe here, it doesn't change the value. That is the concept of immutability. Now let's move on to string buffer. String buffer str equal to new string buffer and give some text, whatever you want. Now let's try to explore about methods of string buffer. Str dot append. Add some text. To learn Java programming. Compile the code and see the output where you can see the added text also. This is the functionality of mutability. Mutable means we can change the string value. We can also add the text, delete the text. Here I am taking delete method from 0 to 7. Here you need to remember one more important basic point. We mentioned 0, 7, right? While indexing, whatever you have taken on the left hand side, that is 0 is included, and right hand side 7 is excluded. So it starts deletes from 0 until 6th letter. Now the text value is changed again here. See, the deleted text is not showing here. We can replace the text. We can also do reverse. I just want to replace the text from index starting from 1 to 3 with the hello. Save the code and run. 0, 1 is space here. 0 and 1 is W, 2 is E. These three letters is replaced with hello. You got it now how it works? These functionalities we cannot do over the string class. And let's see one more most frequent method, that is the reverse method. str.reverse. Here all the text is printing in a reverse order. You have to observe one more important point here. In string, the original, whatever is there, it's not going to change. Whatever you call methods and however you do the stuff, right? Because it is immutable. But here in string buffer, whenever you do some manipulations, the string value is going to change. Now it reverses not the original one, the recent string value. I hope I explained pretty clearly. If you still have doubt, please go ahead and practice this particular example one more time. All your doubts will be solved for sure. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and let's continue the topic of string handling in Java. In today's video, we will see one of the important interview question, how to do string reverse. I will show that in two ways. The first one is using logic and the second one is using reverse method. This reverse method we can only implement using string buffer and string builder, not over string class. Let's go over to IDE, give some string value. I'm giving my channel name Learn Code with Logic. The first one we will say reverse a string using logic. Here I am using the loops concept. I believe like you already learned those concepts in my previous videos. The loop start over from here to here, right? From starting 0 to end of the string. But what we want, it should print from end to starting. Reverse, right? That's the logic I am going to implement for int I equal to str dot length minus 1. I is greater than or equal to 0, I minus minus. After that, call it I using caret method. Save the code and run. You can see list of characters in a reverse order. I will explain the code one more time. Just follow the flow. To take off the line, because if it is print ln, it prints in every line. If you remove that one, you can see in a line, and all the string value is reversed. I know you guys have a doubt over here how it comes -1. Just go back to basics. We know, right? Index starts from 0 and length starts from 1. That's the reason if you want to print from end, you need to provide the length -1. Instead of increment, we need to use the decrement operator, so that last one will be excluded. So 1 by 1, 1 by 1, it start over printing. This is the logic we need to use in string class. But if you use the reverse method, it's pretty straightforward. That is the second part I am going to show. For that, you need to have string buffer or builder. String buffer str1 equal to new string buffer, and have the text. You can simply call the method str1 dot reverse. That's it. That's it. It's pretty straightforward, right? It is also very important to learn the logic as well, how it works. And one more important thing, the same thing we can do over string builder also. Just change the class name. This is about reverse concept. This is very important thing to learn for the purpose of interviews or knowledge base also. It's a very key concept. Okay guys, let's continue our discussion in the next video. Thanks for watching. Hey guys, welcome back to my tutorials, and let's continue the discussion about string handling in Java. So my today's topic is about string builder. Both string buffer and string builder both are an alternative to string class. Means string builder also represents mutable sequence of characters. Mutability means we can change the object, we can append, delete, insert, reverse, all other manipulations where we cannot do over the string, we can do it in the string builder or string buffer. This is also similar to string buffer, but there are few differences. That's it. Let's create a class and explore some methods to understand better. Okay, let's see that. Creation of object is similar to string. First you have to take string buffer and variable name new string buffer. Here you have to provide the string. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. You can reverse the string here using reverse method. Look here, everything is reversed. It's not readable anymore. But anyway, we want that reverse order, right? We got it. Str dot delete. We want to delete high 0, 1, 2. So you have to provide the index here 0, 0 to 3, one extra, right? That's how the indexing works. Look here, you get a new string starting from guys. Let's insert some value. I want a 0 index. Hello. Save the code and compile. You can see now hello is added. Just provide some space, it is more readable. This is about immutability, where the original string is going to be changed. So the string buffer and string builder helps you all these functionalities. I hope you are following the concept. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and continue the discussion about string handling in Java. Today's topic is about again important interview question, the difference between string buffer and string buffer and string builder. This topic gives complete understanding about the concept of string handling. It is just like overview. And remember guys, this is our 11th or 12th video. I'm talking about string classes. If you have seen my previous videos, this is going to be the easiest topic. Otherwise, you feel like something I'm talking out of the box. But don't worry, it is not the paid tutorials. So you always have a chance to go back and watch my videos. Let's come to the topic now. String versus string buffer. String supports immutability, means constant object. If you want to append, insert or anything manipulations you want to do, the solution is either you have to go for string buffer or string builder because this is mutable class. The second part is about storage. If you create the string value using literals, it is going to store over string constant pool, whereas in string buffer it uses heap memory. Because of that, string has some memory issues. It consumes more memory when compared to string buffer. What happens, if you create the string using literals? This string constant pool is specially designed for holding string objects. The problem with the string constant pool is whatever unused or unreferenced objects, the garbage collector cannot destroy those ones. That's the reason we get memory issues as well. That is the main differences between string and string buffer. Then let's see the differences between string buffer and string builder. The similarity is both are mutable classes. Only difference is the string buffer supports the thread safety. You can do multi-threading here. Multi-threading means performing many threads concurrently. What is threading and what is multi-threading, concurrency? These concepts I will talk about once I start the threading concept. But time being, you have to understand this supports multi-threading. But if our program is only single-threaded program, in that case, string builder is faster than string buffer. These and all key differences between string buffer and string builder. Otherwise, the methods, concept-wise, it's pretty much same. And these both are an alternative or solution for the string classes. Hey guys, welcome back to my tutorials and continue the topic of string handling in Java. Today's topic is converting string into the string buffer or string builder and vice versa. Because we have a lot of inbuilt methods and functionalities in string buffer and string builder when compared to string. That's the reason it's good to know how to convert the string into string buffer. Okay, let's see the code for better understanding. For example, here I have a taken class and one string object. If you want to use string builder or string buffer methods, first of all, we need to convert the string object, right? Now create the object for string buffer also. And after that, we need to use the append method. Take the variable and use append. Here you have to provide the string variable str. That's it. Now the string behaves like a string buffer object. You can delete, you can append, and you can reverse the string. This is how you need to convert the string into string buffer or string builder. This is pretty much same. But anyway, our string value is still there. So it's clear, right? We have seen how to convert the string to string buffer. Now let's see how to convert the string buffer to string using a toString method. So you need to create a variable string st equal to str1 dot toString. str1 is the object for string buffer class. That's why I have taken here. Let's compile the code and run. Please observe carefully. The first line is this one. Here we converted from string to string buffer and we manipulate the code using reverse method. And the second one is same string value, whatever we have taken earlier. This one. And the third one, what we did, we converted string buffer to string again. And anyway, string is immutable, right? The original string is not going to change. If you have like good understanding about basics, then the code is handy. You can do in n number of ways and you can enjoy while coding as well. The same way you can do it for string builder class as well. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is the last concept about string handling in Java. I'm going to talk about string joiner class. This is the new functionality. Java 8 added this feature. Using this string joiner, we can add multiple strings. That is the first point. But we need to use the delimiter. And the second point is we can merge the two objects of string joiner. Let's start the coding part and understand how to join multiple strings, what is delimiter, etc. Like any other stuff, we need to create first object, right? For the string joiner, str1 equals to new string joiner. This is the regular way of creating object or regular way of initializing object. But here you can see it's showing like it cannot resolve the constructor. First of all, let's look into the string joiner class. The class is final here and extends object. It used to construct a sequence of characters separated by delimiter and optionally starting with a supplied prefix and ending with a supplied suffix. And we have some examples also. Okay. So it's compulsory to provide the delimiter here. Here I'm providing hyphen. You can also try with the comma or something like that. Now let's add the strings one by one. For demonstration purpose, here I am taking some fruits name. Add some more. Banana, orange, peach, etc. After compiling the code, please observe here. It will show the list of all the strings and separated by delimiter, whatever we are providing here. To provide the comma, so we will get the same strings separated by comma. And the second part is, it is also talking about prefix and suffix, right? We'll see that part also. Let's say pre suffix. In the first string, you can provide right here, that is the meaning of prefix. And at the last string, you can add the value here. Here you got it now, SUFF. So that you can change anything. Fruit. Here I am giving names. This is the functionality of pre and suffix. Now our next topic is merging the two string joiner objects. So we already have one object. Let's create one more object. Here for demonstration purpose, I am taking some flower names. Rose, jasmine, lily, tulip, etc. So we have created two objects, str1 and str2 so far. Now let's try to merge those objects. String joiner, merge string equals to str1 dot merge str2. There you can see the complete names. The first four one is about fruits and the latter one is about flowers. Like this you can merge the two objects using a string joiner. This is the new feature, guys. Don't neglect this topic. Even for the interview purpose as well, this is the very important topic, and also it is Java 8 feature. And the key point is, without delimiter the code is not compiled. We'll get the compile time error. If you want just space, you can remove the characters over there and run the code. There you can see only spaces. It's very interesting, right? That's the magic of Java 8. It introduces all cool features. That's all, guys. I'm done with string handling concept in Java. Pretty much we talked about string class, string buffer, string builder, what is immutability and mutability. And one more important thing is how to deal with toString method. And we have seen handful of examples to practice. As I said earlier, I'm wrapping up the string handling session. Thanks for watching. I'll start the new topic in the coming videos. Stay tuned and happy learning, guys.